Welcome to Echo Trade. It's Jeff Roth. Got Ryan Redfern from Shadowridge Asset Management. So Ryan and the team are new to Echo Trade, so we wanted to bring them on and kind of learn a little more about Ryan's background and the rest of the team and what they're bringing to Echo Trade. Ryan, appreciate you being here.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
So yeah, we met a couple months ago at the National Association of Active Investment Managers conference, and a bunch of really good guys there. Ryan was actually fill me in the director.
President?
Past president. It's a really good organization. So I'll let him talk about that, but wanted to kind of first kind of go into your background and kind of, where you came from. We were just talking about this, kind of you were a broker for a long time and kind of looked to do things your own way. And what led you to starting Shadowridge. So I'll stop putting words in your mouth and let you kind of, tell your story yourself.
That's fine. I think it's a common path. I mean, I was a brokerage for about 10 years. I was really doing my own models on the side. We weren't supposed to. We were supposed to sell the models that the firm was creating for us, and here you go. But then I was outperforming them, especially in 2008 when things got really ugly. And I'm like, I can do this myself. I don't need you guys. And once I realized I could go start an RA and manage it myself, I was like, oh, I'm out of here. So that's where Shadowridge started.
What kind of models were you building kind of at the time pre-2008, when you were a broker before you started Shadowridge, and kind of how were they different than what you were being told to sell, and kind of what led you on the path to kind of starting your own thing?
Right. I mean, I started as a hardcore modern portfolio theory, loving preaching the gospel of that everywhere I could. And then 2008 happened, and I realized that just doesn't help people. You have to know how to protect in those kind of environments. And that's really where I, got to a point where I was building my own thing. I was before then, but getting good at picking investments that were low volatility, low risk, that still did okay, but could manage those bad times. And the landscape has changed quite a bit since then. And one of the big places that I learned it was being part of the National Association of Active Investment Managers, or NAME. That's really where I met the community. I think around 2014 is when I joined. And you start meeting people who are doing this really well, and you just learn from them, and that's really where it comes from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and to your point, kind of being more active and looking at the market, and then also kind of where you got into, like you said, I think you became a CMT, so that's really kind of a chartered market technician. So you're really looking at the charts and kind of really utilizing technical analysis to kind of have a visual representation, kind of looking at past price performance and how that might affect the future, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of gave up on fundamental analysis back in 2008 because too often, and you'll see this still now, numbers get revised. Facts that you have on this day will get changed, and you're like, oh, that meant nothing. I'm like, how is this helpful? The only thing that matters is price and price movement. Yeah. Everything else is meaningless. That's what I find. That's where I just do best. If I stay in that lane.
No, and I think that's helpful. I mean, I kind of lean more on your direction. How I got into kind of trading and looking at the market was much more on a technical side. But I do, some of our guys, they kind of marry the two. But I, in terms of, hey, let's look at, pull things out from a technical perspective or from a fundamental, and then we'll look at them on a technicals to choose, the final, kind of pairing. But I appreciate kind of where you come from. Like, let me focus 100% on what I believe in, and let's be, as efficient and as effective as possible in that area.
Absolutely. And it's a strategy that matches my psychology as well. I find that's a big key too, is you find if a manager or a trader is not trading in a style that matches them personally, they're not going to do well. You're going to ignore signals or be like, oh, second guess these things. It's like, no, when you believe in what you do, you tested it, you understand it, you just follow the rules and you do it, and it works. And the funny thing is, we could have strategies that are opposite each other, and we could both win. And I think that's crazy and amazing about the markets. We don't have to do the same way. There's not one way to do this, not one magic strategy. It's really about the management.
Exactly. I mean, sorry to interrupt, but because again, I think I align myself more with the way you're looking at the market, but with what we do now, with kind of just opening up the market, the access to people like you and having conversations like this. There's a lot of smart people doing things in a lot of different ways, and there's more than one way to be effective and manage money. Lastly, so let's talk about within Shadowridge yourself. You kind of handle the investment side, and then but you do have planning for kind of your other clients that you work with. So kind of dealing more with kind of tax planning, estate planning, et cetera.
A little bit on the planning. Yeah. My wife is really my partner in this business. So we started it back in 2012. She was also at the broker with me, and we were both kind of in the same boat. She hung on so I could start this firm, and then she joined about a year later. But yeah, it's a good group. We've got about 8 people. Just a good group of people that care about doing the right thing for people. So.
Yeah, I guess along those lines, what led you to cap it off to partner up with Echo Trade?
You cool guys. You were at Name, and I think that's a great community, and I think you were doing the right thing. I like your vibe. You know, that's for me. That's really funny. That's a huge thing for me and our firm. We only work with people we like. Truly, even clients. If we don't like somebody, I don't care how much money you have. I want to work with people that I want to help. That you make me want to get up out of bed every day and bust my ass for you, not somebody who's rude to our staff or something like that. Nobody has time for that. We don't have.
No, I agree. I mean, that's funny you say that. You know, one of my first experiences, kind of an early mentor was a guy who kind of helped really start up Qualcomm and kind of brought the marketing team up from kind of nothing to whatever it is now. This was a decade plus ago, but he did say in terms of hiring, the most important thing is culture. But that's not hiring. That's just everybody you surround yourself with. So I appreciate that. But we're excited to have you on the platform. Again, I think, the LP strategy is what we're starting with right now, bond portfolio. That's going to kind of, help to smooth out some equity risk and hopefully still get some nice performance in there. But I think it's a great way to start. I think you guys are a fantastic addition to the platform and excited to partner with you. So I appreciate the time. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks for having me.